Hey guys, it's Marisa here from Bodhrán. I wanted to bring you something a little bit different today. This is a technical exercise that I've worked with a little bit in recent years. Um, so I've spoken about the importance of kind of breaking down your practice into a few different areas. So I would always say maybe start out with a technical exercise to warm up and just help you get going when you're picking up your drum to start your practice session. Um, I also like to base my technical exercises on the aspects of my playing that I know I need to work on. So if I want to work on triplets or rolls or specific tonal things, I would just kind of write my own technical exercises based on that. So for this one, I wanted to come up with an exercise to work on my 16ths, and I put a little upstroke accents into there as well. I also think it's really important to, whether you're a very traditional player or not only look at traditional music and draw from that as an inspiration. So, listening to not only all different brand players, whether their style is to your taste or not, but listening to all different kinds of music and just taking inspiration from wherever you want. Other percussion instruments, drum kit, really whatever. So this exercise is based on about the first minute of a drum kit solo and exercise by a phenomenal drummer named Steve Gadd. You can find it on YouTube, and I'll try and pop the link in the video so you guys can check it out because it is amazing and his feel is so cool. But I just really loved watching this video, and so I decided I'm just gonna try and pop that onto the brand so I can incorporate my 16ths and stuff to just build it as an exercise to work on those aspects of my playing. So I'm going to take about the first minute of that from the drum kit solo thing that he does. Now, obviously, there's going to be some things that he's doing on the drum kit that I'm not really going to copy exactly onto the brand. So I'm not going to do the rolls the same as he's doing them because I'm putting my 16ths in there. And he does like some really cool flams and stuff like that that obviously I'm not going to do on the brand. So I kind of just took that and then changed it slightly so that it would work a little bit more easily on the brand for me. I will also try and put like the transcript, what I've written out for this, into the comments somewhere because it's pretty long. So it might be a little bit tricky to just pick up by ear to get every single thing exactly as I'm playing it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to break it right down. So normally, and I've worked on this exercise with students as well. So normally when I'm starting a new rhythm with students, we would just break it right down depending what level they're at. You can jump right in and try and play with all the tones, and that is great. If you want to break it down a little bit more, what I normally do is I would work on the rhythm and we have a look at it, and they can either read it or learn by ear. And then we would work on the rhythm, hitting all the accents and getting all the sticking right without working any of the tones in yet. So you just don't need to worry about your tone hand while you're getting started and while you kind of get a feel for the rhythm and how you're going to do all your down and up strokes and everything like that. And then from building from there, we would work in some of the tones that they're maybe more comfortable with and then just kind of build it up as they get more comfortable speeding up and adding in all of the different tones that we're going to use in the overall rhythm at the end. So what I'm going to do here to show you guys a little bit how that works is I'm going to play this whole rhythm. I'm going to start a little bit more slowly. So I think I'm going to sit at around 75 beats per minute if you're practicing with a metronome. And I'm going to try the exercise once through with no tones, and then I'm going to go back to the top and do it again just with low tones where all of my accents are. So I'm going to try that just now, and I'm also going to mention a little bit that I am using a metronome. I've got some in-ears here so I can hear the metronome. I spend a ton of time practicing with a metronome. I know not all brand players are really into that, but I really think that your main job as a brand player when you're playing with other people is to keep time. And for me, practicing, like putting in some good practice with a metronome just helps me feel a lot more confident with my timing. And I think it's really helped me develop as a player. And that way, if you ever going into a studio and recording with a click track as well, it's not going to be like this totally foreign thing to you because it can really show you in your rhythms as well, where you're speeding up or slowing down once you're actually playing along with a metronome. So I don't think that you need to be sitting with a metronome like 2 hours every day to be a good player by any means, but I think a little bit of metronome work can go a long way to helping you develop your playing and to be really confident with your timing. So for stuff like this, when I'm practicing on my own, the more technical exercises, I would be using a metronome for a lot of this, even if it's just like 10 minutes out of my practice session at least. It really helps your playing come along a lot. So I am gonna do twice through this exercise, once just with accents and no tones, and then straight back up to the top and using just low tones where all of the accents are at around 75 beats per minute. Here we go. Okay, so normally I wouldn't go from no tones to tones quite as fast as that. But when we were in an actual lesson, we would kind of sit obviously for a lot longer on that. We would maybe go through that whole thing like 3 or 4 times with no tones until they're really comfortable catching all those accents. And then we work into adding the low tones. And building up the tones like that just means that you only need to worry about one tone at a time. So if you're still working on your tones, it's a little bit easier to build up the speed and just get a sense of the rhythm when you're only worrying about one tone at a time. And then once you do start putting the tones in and kind of having to move around the drum a little bit, you're just to feel a little bit more comfortable with the rhythm. Now I'm going to show you guys what that's going to sound like. I'm going to speed it up a little bit again to about 90 beats per minute now. And I'm going to play through it once just with low tones, and then once I'm going to be doing low tones and high tones so you guys can hear what that's going to sound like sped up. There we go. So that is just a little breakdown to show you how I would start with that just a little bit scaled back, even slower than that, and practicing it until you feel really comfortable with no tones, and then just adding the low tones in and then working up to low and high tones. Now, obviously, you're not going to speed it up as quickly as that, but when you're working on speeding up, you want to sit at one speed for a while, whether you're using a metronome or not. Sit at one speed for a while until you feel really comfortable with it, and then speed it up a little bit. And then you can kind of just work on adding in either the tones or upping your speed almost individually, like that, depending on what you need to work on yourself as a player. So that is just one example of a technical exercise that I took from somewhere else and kind of adapted a little bit to put it onto the Bodhrán. As you can hear, there's just some accents and stuff that you wouldn't normally really find in folk music, and I think just having all these different inspirations behind your playing will just kind of open up your playing and your mind a little bit more, so that when you're creating rhythms, you're not just stuck doing the same thing the whole time, and you're just going to be a much more versatile player. So that is my video for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and definitely check out the Steve Gadd video that I will leave in the comments so you can go have a listen and hear what it sounds like on the kit, because it's amazing. Let me know if you want to see more technical exercises like this, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.